Christmas had always been my favorite holiday. The lights, the music, the way our family came together, it all meant everything to me. But this year felt different from the moment I woke up on Christmas Eve morning. My wife, Catherine, barely looked at me during breakfast. She was busy on her phone, typing away while her coffee grew cold. Our son, Marcus, was supposed to arrive that evening from college. He was 22 now, studying engineering at State University, and I hadn't seen him since Thanksgiving. I was excited to have him home. Catherine set her phone down and finally spoke. "I need you to be on your best behavior tonight." I looked up from my eggs, confused. What does that mean? She sighed heavily, like I was already exhausting her. "Just don't be difficult, okay? Don't start any arguments or make things awkward." I felt hurt but tried to laugh it off. When have I ever been difficult? Catherine gave me a long look that made me uncomfortable. "You always find something to complain about during the holidays. The food isn't right, the decorations aren't good enough, someone said something wrong. Just be pleasant for once." Her words stung badly. I had never thought of myself as difficult. Sure, I had opinions about things, but didn't everyone? I loved Christmas and wanted everything to be perfect for our family. Was that really such a bad thing? "I'll be fine," I said quietly, going back to my breakfast. Catherine picked up her phone again and walked out of the kitchen without another word. I sat there alone, feeling a strange heaviness in my chest. Something about her attitude bothered me more than usual. She had been distant for weeks now, always on that phone, always busy with something she never explained. I finished eating and started decorating the living room, hanging lights and arranging the nativity scene we had owned for 15 years. Marcus arrived around 6 o'clock that evening. I heard his car in the driveway and rushed to the door, excited to see him. He walked in carrying a duffel bag and gave me a quick hug. "Hey Dad," he said, but his voice sounded flat. Something was off. He used to be so warm and talkative, but now he seemed guarded. Catherine appeared from upstairs and hugged Marcus much longer than she had hugged me in months. They exchanged a look I couldn't quite read. "How was the drive?" I asked Marcus. "Fine," he replied shortly, heading upstairs with his bag. I stood there feeling confused. Catherine followed him up, and I heard them talking quietly behind his closed bedroom door. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone seemed serious. 20 minutes later they came back down. "Dinner's almost ready," Catherine announced. I had spent all afternoon making my famous pot roast, mashed potatoes and green beans, Marcus's favorite meal. We sat down to eat and I tried to make conversation. "So Marcus, how are your classes going? You mentioned that engineering project last time we talked." Marcus picked at his food. "It's fine." That was all he said. I waited for him to elaborate, but he just kept eating in silence. Catherine jumped in. "He's doing really well. Top of his class in thermodynamics." I smiled. "That's great, son. I'm proud of you." Marcus barely nodded. The awkward silence stretched between us. I tried again. "Any plans for after graduation? Still thinking about that internship in Seattle?" Marcus finally looked at me. "Actually, I might stay closer to home. Mom and I have been talking about it." I glanced at Catherine. This was news to me. "Oh, that's the first I'm hearing about it." Catherine's jaw tightened. "See, this is what I'm talking about. You're already making things difficult." I set my fork down carefully. "How is asking about my son's future making things difficult? I just didn't know you two had been discussing this." Marcus stood up abruptly. "I'm not really hungry. I'm going to my room." He left his plate half full and went upstairs. Catherine glared at me across the table. "Great job. He's been home for an hour and you've already upset him." I felt completely lost. What did I do? I just asked a normal question. Catherine started clearing dishes loudly, clattering them together. "You always do this. You make everything about you. You act like you're being left out instead of just being supportive." I helped clear the table in silence, my mind spinning. Nothing about this evening made sense. Why was Marcus acting so cold? Why was Catherine treating me like I was the enemy? We finished cleaning up without speaking. Catherine went upstairs and I heard her knock on Marcus's door. I sat alone in the living room, staring at the Christmas tree I had decorated earlier. The lights twinkled cheerfully, but I felt anything but cheerful. I tried to think back over the past few months. When had things changed? Catherine and I had been married for 26 years. We had always been solid, or so I thought. Sure, we had our disagreements, but nothing major. Lately though, she had been withdrawn. She worked long hours at her marketing firm and came home exhausted. She spent more time texting and talking on the phone than talking to me. When I asked her about it, she said it was work stress. I had believed her because I wanted to. And Marcus, when had he stopped being open with me? We used to talk about everything. Now he barely shared anything. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Catherine came down alone. I'm going to bed, she said coldly. Are you coming? In a bit, I replied. I want to sit with the tree for a while. Catherine shrugged and went upstairs. I stayed there until almost midnight, thinking about my family and wondering what I had done to deserve this treatment. Finally, I went up to bed. Catherine was already asleep, turned away from me as usual. I lay there in the dark, unable to sleep. At exactly 12:01 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. I grabbed it quickly, not wanting to wake Catherine. It was a text from Marcus. My heart jumped. Maybe he wanted to apologize for dinner or explain what was bothering him. I opened the message. What I saw made my blood run cold. It was a screenshot of a text conversation. The names at the top read Mom and someone called Tyler. I scrolled through the conversation, my hands starting to shake. The messages were flirty, intimate, completely inappropriate. My wife was having an affair. The evidence was right there in black and white. Messages about meeting up, messages about missing each other, messages that made me feel sick to my stomach. Some of the texts were from just hours ago, while I had been downstairs decorating. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, one message from Tyler read. Same here. He's being so difficult tonight. Can't wait to get away from him for a bit, Catherine had replied. She was talking about me. I was the difficult one she wanted to get away from. There were weeks of messages. I scrolled up and saw they went back at least 3 months. How had I missed this? Another text came from Marcus. Dad, I found these on Mom's phone last week when I was home for Thanksgiving. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Can we talk? I sat up in bed, my whole body trembling. Catherine was sleeping peacefully next to me, completely unaware that her secret was out. I wanted to shake her awake and demand answers. I wanted to scream. But I forced myself to stay calm. I got out of bed quietly and went downstairs. Marcus was waiting in the kitchen, sitting at the table. In his pajamas. His eyes were red like he had been crying. Dad, I'm so sorry, he whispered as soon as he saw me. I sat down across from him, still holding my phone. Tell me everything. Marcus took a deep breath. I came home for Thanksgiving early, remember? I had that Wednesday off. I got here and Mom wasn't home yet. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. It kept buzzing with texts, so I picked it up to bring it to her. The messages popped up on the screen. I saw them. Marcus wiped his eyes. At first I thought maybe I was reading them wrong. Maybe it was innocent. But then I looked through more of the conversation. Dad, it's bad. She's been seeing this guy Tyler for months. They meet up when she says she's working late. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Why didn't you tell me at Thanksgiving? Marcus's voice broke. I didn't know how. I confronted Mom about it. She begged me not to say anything. She said she was going to end it, that it was a mistake, that she didn't want to ruin our family. She cried and said she loved you. I believed her because I wanted to. He paused, struggling to continue. But tonight, when I got home, I checked her phone again while she was in the shower. The messages are still going. She never ended it. She lied to me. That's why I've been acting weird. I didn't know what to do. I reached across the table and took Marcus's hand. You did the right thing telling me. I know this wasn't easy for you. Marcus squeezed my hand. I'm so angry at her, Dad. How could she do this to you? To us? That was a question I couldn't answer. I looked at the screenshots again, reading through message after message. Catherine and Tyler made plans to meet at hotels. They talked about their feelings for each other. In one message, Catherine wrote, "Sometimes I wish I could just start over with you." Those words cut deeper than anything else. She wanted to start over, without me. What are you going to do? Marcus asked quietly. I honestly didn't know. After 26 years of marriage, my whole world had just shattered. I need to think, I said. But first, I need to know who this Tyler is. Marcus pulled out his own phone. I already looked him up. Tyler Anderson. He works at Mom's company. He's in the sales department. He showed me a LinkedIn profile. Tyler was younger than me by at least 10 years, athletic looking with perfect teeth and styled hair. Of course he was. I felt a wave of inadequacy wash over me. They're supposed to meet tomorrow, Marcus said. Christmas Day. She told him she's going to say she's visiting her sister in the afternoon. Catherine's sister lived 2 hours away. We usually visited her the day after Christmas, not on the actual holiday. But this year, Catherine had mentioned maybe going on Christmas Day instead. Now I knew why. She's planning to leave us on Christmas to be with him, I said, more to myself than to Marcus. The cruelty of it hit me hard. This was supposed to be a day for family. Instead, my wife was sneaking off to be with her lover. "We have to do something," Marcus said. His jaw was set in determination. I could see he was hurting as much as I was. Catherine's betrayal affected both of us. "Let me think about this," I said. "Go get some sleep. We'll figure it out in the morning." Marcus hesitated. "Dad, I know this is awful, but you deserve better than this. You deserve better than her." His words made tears spring to my eyes. I hugged my son tightly. "Thank you for telling me. I love you." After Marcus went back upstairs, I sat alone in the kitchen for hours. I read through every screenshot he had sent me. I memorized the timeline of the affair, the places they met, the things they said to each other. Catherine had been living a double life and she had been good at hiding it. The question now was what to do with this information. By the time the sun came up on Christmas morning, I had made my decision. I wasn't going to confront Catherine right away. That would give her a chance to make excuses or gaslight me. Instead, I was going to catch her in the act. I would follow her to wherever she was meeting Tyler, and I would have undeniable proof of her betrayal. Catherine came downstairs around 8, acting perfectly normal. "Merry Christmas," she said cheerfully, as if she hadn't been planning to abandon us later. Marcus and I exchanged a look. "Merry Christmas," I replied, keeping my voice steady. We opened presents together. I had bought Catherine an expensive necklace she had wanted. She had bought me a sweater. The whole thing felt like a performance. Catherine kept checking her phone throughout the morning. Around noon she stood up. "I'm going to head over to see my sister this afternoon. I'll be back by dinner time." I nodded like this was completely normal. "Okay, drive safe." Catherine went upstairs to get ready. As soon as I heard the shower running, I turned to Marcus. "I'm going to follow her. I need you to stay here." Marcus shook his head. "No way. I'm coming with you." I started to argue, but Marcus cut me off. "Dad, she lied to both of us. I deserve to be there when the truth comes out. Besides, you shouldn't be alone for this." He was right. I didn't want to be alone. "Okay," I agreed. "But we stay in the car. We just watch and document everything." Marcus nodded. Catherine came back down 30 minutes later, wearing a nice dress and makeup. She never dressed up this much to see her sister. "I'll see you guys tonight," she said, kissing me briefly on the cheek. The kiss felt like poison. After she left, Marcus and I waited 5 minutes, then got in my car and followed her. Catherine's car headed toward the highway, but instead of taking the exit toward her sister's house, she continued into the city. Marcus and I followed at a safe distance. She drove to an upscale hotel downtown, the kind of place that cost $300 a night. We watched as she parked and walked into the lobby. "Should we go in?" Marcus asked. I was gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles were white. "Not yet. Let's wait a few minutes." We sat in the parking lot, both of us silent. I felt numb, like I was watching all of this happen to someone else. After 10 minutes, I saw another car pull up. A man got out, tall, well-dressed, confident. It was Tyler. He walked into the hotel like he owned the place. "That's him," Marcus said quietly. I nodded. My heart was pounding. "Okay, let's go." Marcus and I walked into the hotel lobby. It was decorated for Christmas with a massive tree and garlands everywhere. Cheerful music played over hidden speakers. Everything felt wrong and surreal. I approached the front desk. The young woman behind the counter smiled at me. "Merry Christmas. How can I help you?" I tried to keep my voice calm. "I believe my wife just checked in. Catherine Phillips. Can you tell me what room she's in?" The woman's smile faltered. "I'm sorry, sir. I can't give out guest information." I had expected this. I pulled out my phone and showed her my lock screen, a photo of Catherine and me from our anniversary last year. "Please. It's an emergency." The woman looked uncomfortable. She glanced around, then leaned forward. "Room 412, she whispered. "But I never told you that." I thanked her and headed toward the elevators with Marcus right behind me. We rode up to the 4th floor in silence. The elevator music was playing a cheerful version of Jingle Bells. It felt cruel. We found room 412 at the end of the hallway. I stood in front of the door, my hand raised to knock, but frozen. "Dad," Marcus said softly. I took a deep breath. Then I knocked. Loud and hard. There was silence from inside the room, then rustling sounds. Footsteps approached the door. "Who is it?" Catherine's voice called out. She sounded nervous. "It's your husband," I said clearly. More silence. Then the door opened slowly. Catherine stood there in her dress, her face pale. Behind her, I could see Tyler sitting on the edge of the bed, looking panicked. "How did you?" Catherine started. "How did I find you?" I finished. "Does it matter?" Here I am. And here you are. On Christmas Day. With him. Catherine's eyes filled with tears, but I felt no sympathy. Let us in, I said. We're going to have this conversation right now. Catherine stepped aside. Marcus and I walked into the hotel room. Tyler stood up, trying to look authoritative but mostly looking guilty. Look man, I think we should all just calm down, he said. I turned to him. You don't get to speak. This is between me and my wife. Tyler sat back down. Catherine was crying now. I can explain, she sobbed. I don't want your explanation, I said. My voice was surprisingly steady. I know everything. I've seen the messages. I know this has been going on for months. I know you lied to our son. I know you planned this whole thing while pretending to love me. Catherine looked at Marcus. You told him? Marcus's face was hard. Of course I told him. You're destroying our family. Catherine reached for me. Please let me explain. It's not what you think. I stepped back. It's exactly what I think. You're having an affair. On Christmas Day you left your husband and son to be with another man. There's nothing to explain. Tyler cleared his throat. Actually, Catherine and I are in love. We were trying to find the right time to tell you. I laughed bitterly. Oh, how considerate. You were going to tell me eventually? Was that going to be before or after you filed for divorce? Catherine wiped her tears. I never wanted to hurt you. Things just happened. Tyler and I connected. We understand each other. I shook my head. 26 years, Catherine. We have a son. We have a life together. And you threw it all away for him? I pointed at Tyler. Was I really that difficult? Was I really so terrible to live with? Catherine didn't answer. That told me everything I needed to know. I want a divorce, I said. I want you out of the house. I want you out of my life. Catherine gasped. Please don't make any decisions right now. You're emotional. We can work through this. I pulled out my phone and took a picture of the two of them standing there together in the hotel room. I have all the evidence I need. My lawyer will be getting these screenshots Marcus sent me, plus this photo, plus whatever else I can find. You're not going to get anything from me. Catherine's tears stopped. Her face changed, becoming cold and hard. Fine, she snapped. If that's how you want to play it, fine. Tyler and I were going to wait, but we don't have to anymore. We can be together openly now. She walked over and took Tyler's hand. They stood there in front of Marcus and me, holding hands like they were the victims. Marcus stepped forward. Mom, how can you do this? Don't you care about us at all? Catherine's expression softened slightly. Of course I care about you, Marcus. You'll understand when you're older. Sometimes love just fades and you find it somewhere else. Marcus shook his head. Love doesn't fade if you actually work at it. Dad loved you. He would have done anything for you. And you just gave up on him. Those words seemed to hit Catherine hard. For a moment I saw doubt flicker across her face. But then Tyler squeezed her hand and the moment passed. I think you both should leave now, Tyler said. Catherine and I would like to enjoy our Christmas. The audacity of this man was unbelievable. I wanted to punch him. But that wouldn't solve anything. Instead, I looked at Catherine one last time. You're going to regret this, I said quietly. Not because I'm going to make your life difficult, but because you're going to realize what you lost. Marcus and I left the hotel room. We walked back through that cheerful lobby with its Christmas decorations and happy music. We got in the car and drove home in silence. When we pulled into our driveway, Marcus finally spoke. I'm so sorry, Dad. I turned to look at my son. You have nothing to be sorry for. You did the right thing. You tried to protect me. Marcus wiped his eyes. What happens now? I took a deep breath. Now we move forward. We get a lawyer. We start divorce proceedings. We rebuild our lives without her. We went inside our house. It still looked the same, the Christmas tree, the decorations, the presents, but everything felt different. That evening, Catherine came home around 7 o'clock. She walked in like nothing had happened. Did you guys eat dinner? She asked casually. I was sitting on the couch. Marcus was upstairs in his room. Pack your things, I said calmly. You're leaving tonight. Catherine stopped in her tracks. What? I stood up. You heard me. Pack whatever you need for now. You can get the rest later. But I want you out of this house tonight. Catherine's face flushed with anger. You can't kick me out. This is my house too. I pulled out my phone and showed her the pictures from the hotel, the screenshots of her messages. You want to test me? I have more than enough evidence to destroy you. I will send these to everyone we know. Your family, your friends, your coworkers. Everyone will know what you did. Catherine's face went pale. You wouldn't do that. I stepped closer to her. Try me. I have spent 26 years being a good husband to you. I gave you everything. And you repaid me by having an affair and making me feel difficult and problematic for caring about my family. You're leaving tonight, Catherine. That's not negotiable. Catherine stared at me for a long moment. Then, without a word, she went upstairs. I heard her moving around in our bedroom, opening drawers and closets. Marcus came down and stood beside me. We waited together. 20 minutes later, Catherine came back down with a suitcase. She stopped at the door and looked at us. "This isn't over," she said. I didn't respond. She opened the door and walked out into the Christmas night. As soon as she was gone, I felt something unexpected: relief. The tension that had been building for months was finally released. Yes, my marriage was over. Yes, I had been betrayed. But I was free. Marcus hugged me. "We're going to be okay, Dad." I believed him. We sat together on the couch, father and son, and watched a Christmas movie. Outside, snow started to fall. Tomorrow would bring lawyers and difficult conversations and painful changes. But tonight, for the first time in a long time, I felt peace.